Right, so as I was writing my earlier video today on moves by the Labour right to try and oust socialist campaign group left-wing Labour MP Mick Whitley in favour of right-winger Alison McGovern, as both MPs battle for the same seat due to government boundary changes, another member of the same left Labour group has been deselected in Wales, the result of another right-wing stitch-up following another boundary change head-to-head, as it was from the get-go. The constituencies of Cynon Valley's Beth Winter of the SCG group of Labour MPs, the left-wing group, and the merthyr, tydfil and Rhymney seat of Starmer drone Gareth Jones, the Shadow Minister for Wales, are being abolished to form the new constituency of merthyr, tydfil and Upper Cynon. Normally, when it comes to parliamentary selections, the process takes 9 to 12 weeks, gives the opportunity for candidates to travel the area, talk to people, hold multiple hustings. This one seemingly had been singled out for special treatment, however, as the process was shortened to just over 2 weeks, and the single hustings was held online. This disadvantaged Beth Winter heavily, since Gareth Jones's constituency, having a major town like merthyr Tydfil in it, has a much higher population than Winter's largely rural Welsh Valleys constituency. So Jones already had a head start in gaining votes and having votes backing him. And by shortening the contest so drastically, Winter had no time to meet people in Merthyr and elsewhere and get herself heard and get herself known, let people listen to her. As for the single online hustings, well, anything online automatically discriminates against people unable to access it or be able to at the right time. There should be other forms of hustings as well, but they short the time too much. They couldn't have them. Oh, what a shame, said the Starmerites. That's not to say support for Winter wasn't there, though. In a shot across the bows for their local MP, for example, merthyr Tydfil Trades Council backed Beth Winter, as did a host of trade unions, both Labour-affiliated ones and figures that are not, such as the Communication Workers Union, the University and College Union, the Fire Brigades Union, as well as big union figures like Mick Lynch of the RMT and Mark Sawatka of the PCS Union. And that was despite no official union nominations process either. They were frozen out of this as well. Beth Winter has been calling out the shenanigans leading up to this crunch ballot, calling the shortening of the campaign time undemocratic, of trampling on the rights of members of both Merthyr and Cynon to take part in the decision-making process, and voiced serious concerns about the legitimacy and fairness of the process. And you can hardly argue against that with what we've seen here. When other areas will be having perfectly normal selections done in the right way, not in a way that overtly favours one candidate over another, as this blatantly did. The discriminatory manner of a single online hustings and an online vote, using the widely discredited anonyvoter system at that, prompted Winter to ask for members to be allowed to vote by post, and also for there to be in-person hustings. But these were refused. It really does stink to high heaven. There's no good reason to refuse it. There's no good reason to shorten the process as they did, except to favour the right winger. And when the process has delivered a win for that said right-wing candidate, despite no part of the selection process being fully accessible, and the members of Merthyr and Cynon being denied the same membership rights and process other members elsewhere will be getting in their selections, and of course it all makes a mockery yet again of Keir Starmer's words of wanting to empower local party members to decide their candidates. Because when he's already pre-selected who they could choose from, it's not really their choice anymore, is it? Beth put out a statement very much taking a swipe at the process whilst she was at it. She said, "I'm disappointed by this result and by the unjust manner in which it came about, which leaves major questions outstanding. In this contest, I sought reselection as Labour's candidate on a platform of solidarity with striking rail workers, nurses and teaching staff, all of whom I have been proud to stand with on the picket line. I have campaigned for properly funded public services paid for by taxing the rich, an extension of workers' rights including a £15 per hour living wage, the renationalisation of our public services and a Green New Deal to deliver a jobs-led economic recovery. However, unacceptable obstacles were placed in the way of this grassroots campaign, undermining the democratic process. The online-only process was bulldozed through in just 2 weeks with no face-to-face hustings. This was not a fair contest, and I will be taking advice and soundings in the days ahead about my next steps. In the meantime, I want to thank each and every member of my campaign team, as well as all Labour Party members in Merthyr Tydfil and Upper Cynon who participated to this contest. To my Cynon Valley constituents, I remain your MP and will be until the general election. I will continue to work alongside you for positive change for our valley. The fight for a Labour Party victory in merthyr, tydfil and Upper Cynon and the return of a Labour government at the next general election remains my priority. Solidarity. Beth Winter gone, Jamie Driscoll barred, Bell Ribeiro Addy being shunted to another constituency, Mick Whitley in trouble as well. Heck, who can leave Jeremy Corbyn out of that list as well? It's a pattern of treatment and behaviour we're seeing here from Team Keith. Quality candidates only, they call them, yet still, I'm reminded they admitted a Tory in Christian Wakeford, no questions asked, to the Labour Party, and he has faced no reselection of any kind at all. Beth Winter doesn't sound like she's going to just accept this, having called out the irregularities before the vote and again since. And the seriousness of this is amplified somewhat, given how close the final vote actually ended up being. Jones only beat Winter by 16 votes, 231 to 215. This is unlikely to be the last factional rigging of selections we see. Labour has become a cesspit of dishonesty and lies under Starmer's administration, and nobody actually wanting honesty and integrity can possibly vote for a party led by him, despite Beth Winter's continued backing for the party that has treated her in this way. Solidarity and bitter commiserations, Beth. I really hope you challenge this and get somewhere with that. Meanwhile, after you've liked, shared and subscribed to the channel to keep up to date on the behind-the-scenes grotbags behaviour of the Labour Party and others that you'll not find in the mainstream news, you can watch this video here where some Labour members are not standing for such machinations like this, as an entire local Labour Party executive quit and discussed recently, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers, folks.